Hey guys, Peter Chen here, back for part 3 of this video. We're a few seconds after the last video. We had this Queen 10 offsuit on table 1. We opened with it. On this flop, going to bet half pot. Going to be doing a lot of checking here, but not with this hand. On table 2, I called button versus cutoff with pocket fours. Very good flop. Against this big bet, I don't think I'm going to be raising this at all. Against a small bet, maybe I can raise. So, going to be calling. On table 1, I open under the gun with King Jack, and I'm going to fold to this 3-bet. I'm going to call again with these fours. I'm going to run into an ace a bunch, but I could hit a 4, I could hit a 5, could bluff the river. Not going to try to bluff when he bets pot for half a stack. And a lot of the time I am going to be ahead of a bluff. On table 1, we got 2 limps. I'm going to see a flop with 10-9 offsuit. Table 2, opening hijack with ace-10 offsuit. Now I'll start with a check. I think we can bet with this hand. I want to do some big betting here, but I should also get small bets. On table 1, opening button with King-Queen offsuit. And on table 2, opening cutoff with King-3 suited. On the ace-high flop, I'm going to be betting big a lot and checking a lot. So I'll bet big this time. I don't think I have to always bet this hand. But with the gut shot, I think it becomes more of a bet. If the flop was like ace-9-2, I might just check back every time. On table 2, after flop goes check-check, I'm going to start bluffing with my king high. Could also just check this. And on the flush card, I don't want to go too big, but I should be the one who has all the flushes. So I'm going to go for a half pot bet. I think if I had any kind of good blockers, I could overbet. On table 2, opening small blind with Jack-9 offsuit. On table 1, opening cutoff with Queen-10 offsuit. And folding to a 3-bet. On table 2, going to call big blind with Queen Jack offsuit. So the flop goes check, check. On this turn, I think I want to be mostly betting big, so having a medium strength hand, just want to check that. And I don't think I'm ever against a king when the flop and turn both check through, so going for value now. On table on table one, small blind min raise, I called with queen two. I faced a bet on the flop and called that. And now I'm going to start betting. I probably shouldn't get very many big bets on this turn, although I am tempted to bet bigger since I'm always getting called by a jack or a diamond. I think it's very tempting there to try to bet bigger since we're getting called by a lot of stuff, but then if you think about what you're doing on the river, maybe you'll get called more when you go small bet and then big bet. And not quite as clear as just we'll get called more by worse hands on the turn. There's another street left to play. On the river, obviously, all you have to be thinking about is how strong your hand is and how much you're getting called by. So on table one, I open button, bet half pot on the flop. Now I'll be checking the turn. This is a good river to maybe turn my hand into a bluff. I shouldn't have much worse hands unless I have some type of king 7, jack 7. On table 2, opening small blind with jack 10 suited. Unfortunately, running into a flush. I'm never making that hand fold. On table 1, opening pocket 4s from hijack. And we get 3-bet by the small blind, going to call. On table 2, opening under the gun with pocket 8s. With the 4s, I could bet, I could check. It's good to get protection from all the overcards, and also sometimes you get called by an ace high or a king high. Also a decent result. And I'm going to keep betting this. Very good hand to be bluffing. On table 2, I'm going to call small blind with pocket 6s. And check the flop. And with 4s, I'm going to go for the 3-street bluff. Very unfortunate to run into quads. Sixes might be one of the worst hands I can have here, so going to fold this. On table 1, calling big blind against hijack with ace 10 offsuit. We flop 2 pair. And we're going to be going for an overbet here. On table 2, I opened kings from hijack, got 3-bet by the cutoff. Going to be 4-betting this every time. On table 1 against the small open, I think king jack is a good hand to call with. And folding to the flop bet. On table 2, opening hijack with king queen suited. On table 1, I can either call or 3-bet with the 10-9 suited, big blind versus under the gun. Going to raise it this time. And on table 2, calling big blind versus small blind with jack 6 suited. Folding to the flop bet. On table 2, 3-betting button versus cutoff with pocket 9s. Could obviously call this one as well. Most of our hands are going to be mixed. We flop top set. And I think this is a flop we mostly want to be betting big on, or at least for medium size, so going half pot. On table 1, I defended big blind versus small blind with 8-3 suited. Face a check on the flop. I could either check or bet this. Going to bet this time. On table 2, opening button with ace-10 offsuit. On table 2, calling big blind against cutoff with pocket 7s. I'm going to check raise my middle set. On this super dry board, I'm going to be doing a lot of raising. On table 1, I called an open with 8-7 offsuit in the big blind. Flop goes check check. I think I still want to go small here. If I had an 8 with a good kicker, I would want to be betting big. On table 2, 3-betting small blind versus cutoff with ace-3 suited. And now on the river, I'm going to be going big with my 8. Tempting to check this ace with no kicker, but I think I'm just betting most of my hands here. So with the 8-7 on that board, by betting small on the turn, I might be getting called by, I might be not making the pot as big as I can right away, but I still have the option to bet really big on the river, so not really missing out on value overall, I think. On table 2, I open under the gun with ace-queen offsuit. C-bet small on the flop. I think I could either bet or check on the turn. Going to go for medium-sized bet. On table 1, opening button with jack-9 offsuit, and table 2, we get a bad river, but I think I just have to bluff this. And I can fold to this raise. On table 1, I think here I can basically bet any size, maybe check sometimes. On table 1, going to be 3-betting this a lot of the time. On table 2, going to be calling big blind versus cutoff with ace-jack offsuit. Could 3-bet this as well. And I'm going to call on the flop. On table 1, opening button with Jack 10 offsuit. And on table 2, now I can fold my ace high. I want to be doing a lot of checking back on this flop in table 1. On table 2, opening button with ace jack offsuit. Folding my jack high. And on table 2, I'll be betting small. On table 1, opening under the gun with ace king offsuit. We get 3-bet by the small blind. Going to put in a 4-bet, make it slightly bigger since we're about 130 big blinds deep. I think I have a mixed call here. I could either call or fold. So, going to be folding this. Don't always have to stack off with ace king offsuit. On table 2, small blind opens. Going to call 9-7 suited in the big blind. And facing the small bet, going to call. And now I'm going to start bluffing with my 9 high. We get a blank river. I think it makes sense to go big. Hopefully I can have some 2s in my range if I don't raise them all on the flop. I definitely have every jack. We get called by 4s, which is reasonable bluff catcher. On table 1, opening cutoff with ace jack offsuit, and on table 2, opening ace 4 suited. On table 1, opening under the gun with king jack suited. When I get cold called, I think I prefer to play very, very tight. Just fold ace 4. And on table 1, I can call this. I can 4-bet this. Going to call this time. On table 2, opening button with pocket jacks. And we can 3-bet that, or we can 4-bet this. We can call it. Going to 4-bet. And with the king jack, going to call. And stack off with the jacks. A good hand to be up against. The king jack, going to start betting. On table 2, opening hijack with ace jack suited. And now I'm going to have to shove the king jack. Can't check back a hand as weak as this. And I think here I'm going to make every 10 fold if there's jack 10, queen 10, king 10 suited from the small blind. Unfortunately, I block those hands, but I can't really pick other hands to bluff that don't block those hands. Of course, if I had pocket sevens, I would be betting that as well. Hands like that. But even here, I can make an ace fold sometimes. On table 1, opening button with 9-8 suited. On table 2, opening cutoff with 9-7 suited. On table 1, opening hijack with king 9 suited. On table 2, going to be calling ace 4 suited, big blind versus small blind. I'm going to be raising this a small amount at the time, but mostly calling. And calling the flop again. On table 1, I'm going to flat the small blind here with ace 9 suited. And on table 2, calling again with my ace. I'm going to go for the check raise with my ace 9 suited. I can obviously have a ton of kings here, including king 10 suited. On table 2, I'm going to run into an ace with a better kicker a lot of the time, but also I don't need to be ahead that often. I think Dari can find the bluffs pretty easily, just having high card hands. On table 1, button limped, small blind called. I checked, flop went check, check, check. Going to start betting with my gut shot now. I also have a great hand along with my gut shot to be bluffing, which is 6 high. Never win at showdown. I rep the 2s very well. I'm the only one who has every single 2. I have small blinds folding some hands. All the offsuit 2s are going to be folded. At table 1, I open cutoff with King Jack offsuit, get called by the big blind. Going to be checking a lot on this flop, but I have a decent betting hand. And I'm going to continue betting with this. Big size on the blank turn. And now folding to the raise, and going to end the video here. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next week.